Hi all, welcome back to Whoops with C++ session 41, and in today's session we'll give some introduction to extend keyword and static data member, static members. Okay, so let's focus on some one of the example. Say I have some created one file test.h. So currently I have kept only one static int a here, one static variable. Okay, so I have some test one dot CPP. So here nothing is there. So just I have included test dot h file here currently, and some of the code is commented. So I have some other code that is test2 dot CPP. Okay, so here you can see I have two functions. One is fun1 and another one is fun2. Okay, so here I'm just incrementing the value a plus plus, here also a plus plus. Okay, and I'm including this fun1 fun2. So since I have included test.h, so this static int a will also be present here. So I will be having the linkage to this file. Okay, so now what will happen is initially the default value will be assigned to 0 for this global variable, and fun1 I'm incrementing here, it will be 0, fun2 will be 1. I'm calling these functions fun1 fun2. Okay, so now let's compile this program. So something, okay, it's working fine, no problem. Okay, we dot out in fun1 0, in fun2 1. Now what I will do is, instead of what I will do is I will try to give definition for this uh, is that I want to assign the value to this like this, int a equals to 10. So means I want to keep it like this. Okay, here I want give the definition, right? So now what will happen is we'll get the redeclaration error, redefinition, because generally header file should contain only declarations and should not contain the definitions. Okay, so this is somehow okay. So it's giving error. So how I can avoid that one? So go back here. Okay, so now instead of static, make it extern. So extern keyword means only declaration is here and definition is present somewhere else. Now compile the same program. Sorry, I have not saved this. Okay, I have saved now. Just compile it once again. Click the screen, compile it. Okay, now it's compiled successfully. Now you can see the incremented value fun 1, 10 and 11. So because if you observe test1.cpp, what is the value here? Int a equals to 10. So initial value is assigned with 10. So I cannot, so just like this is a declaration. So for static members, I cannot do like that, right? Okay. So this is how, now if you observe the program, what exactly I am doing in test2.cpp. So here I have function 1. I am incrementing the value, means the same data member, the value is shared across the functions fun1 fun2 in both the cases. Even if I use the static, the value is returned. Even if I am using the normal global data member, then also the value is shared across the functions. Okay, now so in the same way I am coming back to this. So what I will do is I have some extern int count. Now my need is I have to calculate the objects created for my class 1, number of objects created for my class 1, and number of objects created for my class 2. So for that reason I have used one variable in the extend int count. Okay, removing this my class 1 and my class 2 declarations, right? This is fair enough. I have only one constructor here in a, so you can see test.h. So only constructor is a my class 1 constructor, my class 2 constructor. Okay. Now this one I have included in, sorry, test1.cpp. So here what I'm doing is I'm just since it is extern, the count value I'm initializing here int count equals to 0, and this is the constructor. Okay, so my class 1 constructor and my class 2 constructor. So generally header file should contain only declaration, and definition has to be present in uh, .cpp files. Okay, so now what I will do is, so time being just comment these two lines, not two lines, three lines, these three lines will comment. Right. Okay, so as soon as any object is getting created, we know that constructor will get called. So as soon as the constructor is called, then count value will be incremented. Initially count value is 0, so count value is 2. Okay, now save this one, go to test2.cpp. So here I am creating the objects, my class 1 object 1, my class 2 object 2. Okay, my class 1 objects, how many created? So here what I will do is my class 2, so my class 2 objects count. Okay, so what I want is I want to keep track how many number of objects of my class got created for any class, how many objects of my class 1 got created, how many objects of my class 2 objects got created as and when I needed. So here I am trying to print how many my class 1 objects got created, and here I am trying to print how many my class 2 objects got created. Okay, so now let's compile again. So you have to take both, yeah, the files you have to compile, test1.cpp, test2.cpp, next dot slash that out. Okay, so this one is fine, you leave this one. Okay, so now if you see test1.cpp, if you see here my class 1 objects count equals to 2. As soon as the objects are getting created, so count is getting incremented. Okay, now if you see test2.cpp main, what is there? So here in this line, my class objects count, my class 1 objects count, here how many it is showing? 2, but how many I have created? Only 1. Okay, so here my class 2 objects count, how many objects I have created for my class 2? 1 and 2, but how many it is showing? 4. So what is happening here, if you observe, this count is a global variable, and it is used even in to count the my class 1 objects as well as to count the my class 2 objects. Means anybody can access this global data. right? There won't be any restriction to access this count variable. Anybody can access. Okay. So as an object oriented programming approach, the restriction is we are not supposed to use global data members. We have to avoid the usage of global data. So then how can I rectify this problem? Okay, how to modify, how to get the count. Okay, so then we'll go with different approach. Okay, what is that approach? I will in this test1.cpp, what I will do is let it be count plus plus let it be. I will create a static int count. Okay, so here I am incrementing count plus plus cnt plus plus cout. Here itself I am printing my class one count cnt. Here static int count equals to 0. Again count plus plus cout. Okay. Now in main what I will do is vi test2.cpp. Okay. So here as soon as the object is getting created, so then here I will get the count as 1, my class 1 object count as 1. So here my class 2 object count is 1, and here my class 1 objects count is 2, and here 2. Okay. But what about this global variable? It will give the same value. So irrespective of, because it is shared among the so means everybody can share. Even my class one also can take the access the same data. My class two also can take the same data. Okay. So static data members will get memory only once, irrespective of where you are creating the static data members. Whether you are creating the static data members locally inside a function, or whether you are creating in global space. Okay, you will get memory in data segment. Okay, so this is the thing. I have done little modification. Okay, now let's compile this program again, both the programs. Now execute it. See here, so what I'm doing, my class 1 object here I'm creating. So here the count is 1, my class 1 count is 1. Here I'm creating my class 2 objects, so count is 1. Okay, so next again I'm creating so here I'm checking for the count it came 2, because this count is a global data and it is shared among the functions. Okay, anybody can access that. Okay, no security for that, right? So now my class object 3, my class 1 object 3. So here already one object got created. Here already one object got created for my class 1, and here we are creating second object. So that is the reason we got the count as 2. Okay, so, right? Okay, sorry, I think I have given something wrong. One second. Test 2, sorry, test1.cpp. Cout statement I have to change. This is my class 2. Okay, yeah. So now again I'm compiling. Okay, now we can see, right? So here my class 1 count is 1, because here only one object is got created. But when it comes to obj3, the count is incremented, second object of my class 1 got created. So the problem is solved. Now see this count here itself I am printing, but now what I want is, I don't want like this. Okay, what I want is, so static, so every time it is calling, the static data member is getting incremented. Okay, so now what I will do is, I will take this test test1.cpp. Yeah. So what I want is here test.h. Okay. So I want to get the count. Yeah. In get C1 count means my class count. It is the C1 count. Yeah. Here int get C2 count, class 2 count. Okay. So now I have to give the definitions for this. So what I will do is I have to go here. Okay. So what is the return type of the function? That is int. Okay, and this is present in my class 1, and the function name is scope resolution, and the function name is get C1 count. Okay, now I am giving the definition. What I am giving? So just I want the incremented value, that is return CNT. Okay, that static data member, whatever I have given here. Okay, so static data member will be there, right? Once we have created, memory will be allocated only once for this static data member. It will be in data segment. Okay, I have memory got allocated for this. Now I am doing the return count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now what I will do is the same definition I am giving for this one also, my class 2 also, my class 2. Okay. Now what I want is I don't want this to be printed here. Okay, as soon as an object is getting created, I'm printing this, right? I don't want that to be printed here. Okay, right. Okay, now I test 2.cpp. So what I will do is, however I am printing like this, here I will print. So overall I will print it here. See out class 1 count. Class 1 count. So how can I get? So here you can get obj 3 dot get C1 count, right? Class 2 count. So here obj4 dot get C2 count. Okay, so then now okay, so test dot h. Okay, so now what I will do is I'm just compiling this now. See what is happening here. Okay, return CNT was not declared. Okay, so why CNT is not declared? I will come back to this. Get C2 count. Okay, okay, this one is fine. Yeah. So let me check. Test one.cpp. Yes, correct. Okay. Now, what is the problem we are getting here is CNT. CNT was not declared in this scope. Why? Why we are getting this one? because this class 1, we have the static data member, right? We know static data member will get memory only once, yeah, and it will be shared among the um, functions, across the functions, that the value will be retained, right? Okay, the value will be retained, and whenever you are calling that function, it will be incremented, right? So now what exactly will happen to the static data member is this linkage is limited to this block also. Okay, you have declared, but whenever you are, every time whenever you are entering into this block, so you can access this, but outside this function, so means it is a static int count is declared here only, right, inside this function. You cannot access that here. Okay, the visibility will be within this function, it cannot be shared across the functions. Okay, but the value will be returned and the value will be incremented as soon as you are calling this function or my class 1 constructor. Same way for this also. So this is problem with this. Now if I am using global, either global data or global static, the problem is the value will be shared across the classes, across the functions. Anybody can use, anybody can use like this. Okay, see, if I am using a global data count, anybody can use this constructor. See here, my class also can, my class 1 also can use, and my class 2 also can use. There is no security for your global data. So now how can I avoid that one? I have to write a local variable like this in the function stat, and we have to make it static and increment it. But when I am incrementing, it is having the limited scope. Then how to overcome this? Okay, so I don't want to print this one, my class 1 count here, and I have to I have to get the accessibility across the functions also. Means all the functions of this my class 1 has to be able to access my static data member. Okay, but if I am writing like this, only the scope will be limited to this. So then how can you do that? So what you have to do is, there is something like um, you have to make this static data member as your member of the class. It will be, you have to make it static in CNT. Okay, when you are making like this, then you can access the you can access this count variable even in the constructor, even in other functions also. But how to do that? How to what is the syntax? What is the problems we will face? Those things we will discuss in upcoming section. So hope you have understood today's topic. Okay. So the key points you have to remember is, that is, global data will be shared across the functions, and global data has the external linkage. But when we are coming to static data values, those are shared within the blocks. So means I have declared one static data member inside the constructor, so it is I can access that within the constructor only, but I cannot access in get c1 count, get c2 count, like that we have, right? I cannot access that. So both global and static will get memory in data segment. So so one more point: static data has an internal linkage, and global data has an external linkage. You can access across the modules, but static data cannot be accessed across the modules, across the files, or across the functions if it is declared inside the uh, block. Okay, so now both global and static data maps both will get memory in the data segments. Okay, so we have data segment, text segment, and heap segment, right? We have already discussed about this, what is global segment, data segment, text segment, okay, in our initial classes. So now coming to when exactly they will be get memory means, as soon as the loader loads your program, that a.out, it will loads into the memory, these global and static variables will get memory. So we can say before the program execution is before the program is getting executed, the members will global and static will get memory. Okay, that will be placed in. So after that only the actual program will get started. Okay, so that's for today. Hope you have understood. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.